Hey, so we're here. Spectacular and Salivate Metal is here for the metals experience. It's a work in progress. We have no idea what it's going to be like, but we're just going to have fun. Two guys that enjoy precious metals, coin collecting, just talking about our hobbies and maybe some life stuff just for fun.
Indeed, yes. Thank you, Spectacular. And this was Spectacular's idea, and just thought it would be a fun way to kind of interact and talked about precious metals and about the economy and other aspects and collecting. And indeed, it's an overall experience.
Just for fun. So, like, what kind of stuff did you put on your table right there?
I've got a 2 ounce. This is one of my favorite and first acquired 2 ounce coins. It's the turtle, and it is a really cool piece from Niue. And I have a tube of these, and I remember seeing a video on YouTube, and that's just it. And the channel that I saw this from, I even forget the channel's name, but they don't post anymore. But it just inspired me to. I like them thick. You know what I mean? I'm down with the thickness. And
THIC.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. THIC. And what's really cool about this particular coin that is different than other 2 ounce coins is it doesn't have the feared and the hated finning. That's FINNING. And I hate that on coins. It's one of my major pet peeves. In fact, I have a pet peeves playlist, and finning is on there. And so this has nice little slight beveled edges on it, very well struck. And so that is what's there. I got some Libertads. I know you like some Libertads. And I got some eagles here, the high premium silver eagles. I got a gold back and a couple of self-poured bars. This is my very first self-poured bar. I have a little teaser video called Self-Poured Billionaire. Little play on words there. Yes, indeed.
I like that stuff a lot. You know, back real quick to the finning. So, as people probably may have known from your video, hearing about it, especially with that one of the newer releases from the U.S. mint there with the Bronco on it, right?
Right.
It had that edge that kind of is pushed out and raised up, and like you mentioned, it causes almost like a razor sharp edge in certain sections of that coin on the edge itself, right?
Yes.
Now, oddly enough, I reached out to a very well-known member of, past member, excuse me, of NGC. And I said, hey, when you have a coin graded and you look into that finning, what's the issue with that? Does that cause like a lower grade? And he said that the edge of the coin is really not considered when they grade a coin. It's more of the obverse and the reverse only.
That's exactly right. And that is a crying shame because I've known that for actually several years. I believe if you're going to grade a coin, you need to look at every aspect of the coin. In fact, I've got a video that will be premiering, or not premiering, but it'll be scheduled to be released as we're doing this interview. And there is a Canadian maple leaf in that video, and you don't see it where I had dropped it and dinged the edge of it. And so if I was to send that coin in for grading, they would not even consider that ding at the edge, which is just a shame because it's to me, when you grade a coin, you should look at the whole coin, how it's struck, and it's a shame that finning continues. And actually, I have a story about the finning with U.S. Mint in particular, because you may be aware that the gold buffalo is famous for finning ever since they were introduced in 2006. And the coins that are released even today have that finning because it's really for its planchet size, it's a high relief coin. Even though it's not marketed as a high relief coin, it does have higher relief than an eagle does. And of course, being that it's 4/9 fine gold, the metal is going to flow in the striking much more fluidly or rapidly. And it's going to, if it's off center just in the slightest, that's what causes that finning. Well, the United States Mint knew this was a problem when they were creating the 2009 ultra high relief gold double eagle. And the companion book that comes with that talks specifically about that problem. And so Edmund C. Moy, who was the Mint director at the time, it was his brainchild. You know, he worked to make sure that it was not a problem in 2009. Sadly, that was the only time they paid attention was when he was director, and quality control went out the window
now it's back.
And now it's back.
That's a shame.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about your channel, my channel, kind of who we are for people that have no idea maybe who you are, which is, maybe 5 people out there in the entire world don't know who you are. And same thing with me. But so we're kind of going backwards here. I want to go back to the buffalo for a second. I found some interesting information about copper spots on gold. And it's been going on for hundreds of years, these copper spots that show up a little bit later on gold coins. But there was some information about how to remove the copper spots. And without going into that information, how to do it, people were saying they actually enjoyed the copper spot. And it was funny because the people that were saying that were actually professional graders saying that they enjoyed it and that it didn't kind of take away from the grade of a coin. I thought that was kind of unusual because to me, copper spots are kind of like an eyesore. What do you think about the copper spots on gold?
I'm not a big fan of them either. And I understand that they get there from the die. They're transferred somehow imperfections on the die, the copper, some of the metal. But I really don't understand because the dies are not made of copper. So I don't know how they really necessarily get there. I can explain milk spots generally better than I can the copper spotting, but I believe it is easier to get rid of, well, it's definitely easier to get rid of a copper spot than it is a milk spot, but I'm not a big fan of them either. If I want a gold coin that has a beauty mark, well, I can just take a little Sharpie and put that on there myself or what have you.
Yeah. And, milk spots are ugly to me too. When I see those on a new eagle, I'm just like, oh, like there goes that, like it's no longer going to be a collectible coin. It's just going into the bullion pile now.
Exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, having a bullion pile, but sometimes you want to look at the coin, you want to just see a flawless coin. And to me, you just don't get that when you have that spot on the coin. But I thought that was interesting that people actually thought that copper spots were pretty, that they enjoyed them. That was a different world to me.
And I had not heard that before either, but I liken it to, I mean, I know I was joking around about the beauty mark, but you know how like, famous models have a little beauty mark, and it's a little mole. There you go. You've got one. That's it.
No, I don't have. I'm just pointing.
Yeah.
That's a pimple.
Oh, that's a pimple. All right. Very good. There you go. Yes, indeed. All right. Let it all out. All right.
It depends on where that beauty mark is. If the beauty mark is here, like we think of it as beautiful. But if the beauty mark is maybe like right on the tip of a nose, like right here,
that's right.
Maybe extending the nose out ever so slightly by maybe a half inch or so.
Yes.
Maybe not so beautiful anymore.
Exactly. That's true. You're right.
It all depends on where it is. But okay, so back to the channels. Now, see, we're going back in time now. Just tell us a little bit about your channel, what it's all about, whatever you want to divulge.
Yeah, well, I mistakenly thought that your channel was newer than mine, but it really is not. You've been around longer than I have. But
you've definitely been putting out metal content well before me, because originally my channel was getting ideas of what I could do. So you're the metal guy originally before me.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things. I had been on YouTube for quite a while before I created a channel. I have another account that I've posted videos that had nothing to do with precious metals, but I've been watching videos about precious metals on YouTube since probably late 2007, early 2008. There weren't that many. But then as I started watching, I started to see more channels being created. And it kind of inspired me. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and try this. And so, very amateurish. I posted a couple of videos, and that's kind of where it all began. And I just kind of wanted to just get involved in the community as I saw it kind of grow. And I love seeing unboxing videos. I love seeing the different kinds of silver, especially silver, because that was mostly what I was into at the time. I enjoyed seeing it, and I enjoyed kind of showing it as well when I got some silver. And I thought it was just a neat thing. It was all about the unboxing at the time. What do you have, or showcasing an unboxing? There was some talk about the markets, and you had channels that were geared more towards that, but that's not really what the silver community was about. It was about showing the shiny and the bullion products, and so that's kind of what the foundation was. And I have a couple of different slogans, and the multitude of gratitude started early. I knew I wanted to have some sort of a line or something that kind of set me apart. And I wanted to pick a name that didn't tie me into just this stuff, to silver, because I knew in time I wanted to talk about other metals as well, because I enjoy all kinds of metal. including heavy metal music, and that kind of had that in a theme with some of the music at the little intros and stuff like that. But basically, I wanted to really have something that was, because I started seeing all these channels come out with the name Silver in it. Silver Fish was one of the ones that kind of inspired me at the beginning, and he liked gold too. But it's like, when you see a video with a channel named Silver something and you see a gold coin on there, some people might be, it pigeonholes you. So I wanted to expand out a bit. And but one of the other missions is coins, bullion, and commentary. And that's actually on some of the channel rounds I've created, but that's basically what I talk about: coins, bullion, and commentary. And so it's just discussion. It's about education. It's about entertainment. And it's about community to me.
Your channel is great because you don't have one video a week. You don't have 2 videos a week. You have videos generally every single day that I've ever seen. And it's not just one video. Sometimes it's multiple videos. And it keeps people that are subscribing to you and following your channel up with like news, because you'll find that news and you'll inform people about what's going on. And it keeps people up to date about the world of metals and coins out there. So you've become, in my opinion, kind of like a news source for precious metals.
Well, thank you. Yes, and it has evolved a lot towards that. I talk about coins, bullion, and commentary, and you could probably insert news in there as well too, because I do like to talk about it. But obviously, my opinion is inserted in there as well. But sometimes I do like to separate that to a point when I talk about certain things like the pandemic or about any controversial subject. I relate it to how the markets react to it, not necessarily the opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, people have a lot of opinions about the pandemic. And sometimes I have to say in my videos, hey, regardless of what you think about it, set aside your opinion. We all have strong opinions about it. I have strong opinions about it, but this is what the market is reacting to. And we have to, that is real. Whether or not you think the virus is real or what your feelings are about vaccines, how the market reacts and how silver and gold react because of the things related to supply chains and the like, that is real. And so I like to talk about that, especially in the videos. Now in the live streams that I do, it's much more loose, and opinions can I allow every opinion from anybody, no matter what their views are. I have to be careful what I say in those live streams because of the machine learning and that YouTube has. I actually have a channel warning now, and I'm fear of a strike because of some of the things that have been discussed, and not necessarily my opinion, but reading other people's opinion. There's one YouTuber on their account that I can't even say what his channel or his profile is. TW. You can guess what that would mean, but I can't say it because I would get probably a strike.
Probably. Isn't it crazy how we're in a world where we have to worry about what we say?
It really is. It is a shame. And you know what? And it's not just big tech, quote big tech, but it's your fellow viewers. I mean, there's some people that I've said some things and they take it completely the wrong way, or they don't watch a video, or they think that I'm implying this or that, and you get pummeled by your fellow viewers too, or fellow community members because of something. And I admit that I'm not the most articulate. I'm not the best wordsmith. I have to sometimes think in my head what word I'm going to use next to try to be as articulate as possible. And sometimes I'll fall short of that. But regardless, that's part of making content daily. You're going to make mistakes from time to time as well.
People don't realize the challenge of just talking to yourself when you make a video, because you're in a room by yourself. Sometimes you have no information whatsoever in front of you. You're just winging it off the top of your head. Maybe you're just looking at a silver bar, and you're just staring at this thing, and you're basing all of your content off of just looking at something and trying to remember what you wanted to say. It can be difficult. I tell you what, just talking to yourself.
Yeah, no, that's true. And here's the other thing too. because I do a lot of stream of consciousness type of videos, and where I'll just show metals and talk about what's going on. But I also do, like you said, I will read some of the articles from the news as well. But when I do that, I'm inspired. Actually, I'll tell you what inspired me to do the articles. Was G. Gordon Liddy. I don't know if you ever heard of G. Gordon Liddy. It was a talk show in the early 90s, early to mid. It started in the early 90s, but he had a segment called Review and Comment on the News. And that's kind of where I go with when I'm doing some of the news articles. You know, I'll read and I'll do some commentary in between. So it's not just me reading the article, but I do reference the article. And I want to reference it in a way that somebody doesn't have to go and look it up themselves. They can just listen to me, and I provide the commentary along with that. But I mix those up as well as doing the stream of consciousness type of content, which you're really good at as well.
Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, I mess up. It is what it is. But luckily, with the power of technology, we can edit out some mistakes or just keep them in. I love when you sneeze on your videos, for instance.
Sometimes I keep that stuff in there, or the coughs when I had the old COVID. I just left those coughs in there, But
how's that doing now? You okay? You okay with the COVID?
Oh yeah, I do. I still have some slight residual phlegm, and sometimes I'll, and it happens when I'm talking. Actually, that's more when it happens. Whenever I'm not talking, I'm okay, but it's just a slight residual. But I had no problems. It was pretty minor. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. Without getting into it, and real quick, people can have different opinions, and we mentioned the pandemic and mandates and vaccines and all that stuff before. You and I even have different opinions, and without going into that, to me, it does not matter because we're allowed to have different opinions, right? We just shouldn't be arguing and fighting about it, because let that person have their opinion, let you have your opinion, and at the end of the day, these are precious metals and coin channels. Let's come together, at least on a common ground there.
That's right.
But real quick, for anybody that may not know my channel, maybe you have some of your people that come over and come to see what I'm all about. My channel started really kind of maybe 6-7 years ago, I think it was, as a way to just find a hobby. Being a new dad, I was trying to do something in the house that didn't require a lot of noise. And playing Call of Duty and yelling at 13-year-olds was not the solution. So I had to find coin collecting and hunting through like wheat cents, old boxes of pennies and wheat cents and stuff. That was just fun for me. That was my entertainment, and kept me somewhat quiet. And there was one time, Sal, where I go through a box of cents, and I found wheat cents galore all over the place. I mean, I think one box had like 280 or something.
Wow.
And I decided to film the whole thing because I was like, man, this doesn't seem normal. So got my little junky iPhone out. And I'm filming the whole thing, running out of memory constantly, trying to glue all these videos together, in different segments because of the technology I had at the time, and made these videos. And I thought I was just going to document it, and I posted the information to a coin forum that I was a member of. And I tell you what, the views and the people subscribing to my channel just kept flowing in, spamming my inbox with subscribe, to the point where I had to send that stuff to the junk mail because I was like, this is just too much. This is getting ridiculous. And eventually I was like, maybe I got something here. Maybe this is something interesting. And then one day I remember, after taking a huge break from YouTube, something came up, and I can't remember what it was, but I was like, man, I should make a video and talk about this. And I got in there, I talked about it, and it seemed like people were positive about it, and it was something that was needed and people were interested. And I said, let me see what I can do. Maybe I can actually help people that had a problem like I did, that could use coins and precious metals to solve that issue. And I just kept going with it, man. And, here I am, just a dude, you know what I mean? On the internet, having fun.
It's amazing, and how your channel has grown. And so when did you start? What was the year you started really that you added the voice after the cent coin roll hunt or coin hunting and finding those wheat cents, to the point where you started actually using your voice?
It was about 6 or 7 years ago when I just started. And then you know, of course, I'm really lame at that time. I'm not trying to entertain anybody. I'm just trying to show what's going on.
Right.
And so maybe a year or so after that, when I was like, you know, I was just getting bombarded, you know what I mean, by all the people subscribing and viewing and commenting. And I was like, let me try something. There was some time after that where I was like, man, I gotta add the Spegtacular in here, you know, and what it means nothing. But it's really hard to rhyme Spegtacular with anything.
Yeah, no, I think it's very clever. I think that's great. Spegtacular. That's right. Yes, indeed.
Makes no sense, Sal. Makes no sense.
Make no sense because it's silver, and silver's not made out of sense.
But I keep all my old stuff. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff originally when I found all those pennies, I got bags and bags. I know the green screen's screwing me up, but I got tons of that stuff, and I just hold on to it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just a memory of what I did, and you know, I kept on branching off, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could talk to an actual shop owner? You know what I mean? It's not really something that people seem to be doing on here to get information from the source.
That's right.
And so I decided to start doing that. And that seemed like that was something that people enjoyed.
That's what really took off for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to see what people enjoy and I try to go with it. Like you mentioned with the unboxing videos, you know, that was a big thing at the beginning, right? And now people don't really care about unboxing videos.
Right.
They're very lackluster when it comes to views.
Exactly. That's exactly right. But now it's like when you get a bullion dealer or a coin dealer and you can talk to them, make that a part of your content, those get a lot of views. And you know, those things, I started seeing that and I thought, well, should I go talk to my LCS? And I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to copy what other channels were doing and steal that thunder. But the other thing too is, you know, for privacy reasons, I really didn't want to, you know, people to go into that shop and, you know, but I know there's several different levels of risk. And I'm sure there's people take precautions during that time, during those type of situations. But I think it's amazing. And the stuff with Coin Guy is just really eye opening. And you get to learn from people who are in the business and who have to make a bottom line and they know about coins and share a lot of that information. And I think it's wonderful what you've done because it's not just the Coin Guy. You've also talked to others as well.
There's been several others, and there was actually somebody before Coin Guy. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah, he and I had a little bit of a disagreement about who kind of owned the rights to the videos. And so we had to kind of walk away from each other. I don't really talk about this, and I don't really know if you do talk about how much money we gain from doing what we're doing. But when I first started around that time, and I thought, hey, this would be great to get coin shops involved and film them, I'm making like maybe $50 a month, Sal, on this thing. And so now the guy that I'm filming wants a piece of that. And it's like, man, I got to pay for gas to get over there. I got to pay for time. I'm sitting there commenting. I'm promoting his shop and I'm getting $50 a month. And he's trying to borrow some of that money for himself right now. I'm like, I don't understand how that's reasonable.
Right. No, I'm with you. I think you made a wise decision to pull away from that. And I think that, you know, one of those things when you involve somebody else to help, you know, there's the agreement I think should be, hey, you're going to get exposure on my channel that's growing and you're going to get more business from that. It's like a free advertisement and it's going to help my channel grow. And there's a symbiotic relationship. So I think the first guy, and because I remember when you talked about that, was getting a little bit overstepping his I feel. So I think you were totally in the right to do that. And it sounds like Coin Guy does a much better. And the other, I think you've got others you're talking to as well. They all
there's several others. You know, and now I learned something from that original relationship, and we didn't establish the rules and such. And now when I talk to a shop, I right off the jump, I say, listen, what happens in your shop is your business. What happens on YouTube is my business, obviously. Right. I don't want nothing that you gain from this, and just don't ask me for anything that I gain. And oftentimes in the videos, and I recommend this to all creators, that they ask permission in the video saying, hey, can I put your shop on here? Can I put your face on the video? And that way you have video documentation. That person said, yes, I consent to everything.
Right. That's definitely
just some little tips. But no, please, you should do a coin shop video. Plenty of people have copied me after that, Sal. I can't get mad anymore because there's so many people that thought, hey, that's such a great idea. Let me go do it. And truth be told, there's a lot of shops out there that are bad. And it's nice to get the good shops some, publicity and show them off, because that's what we want in this hobby. We want it to grow. We want it to be a positive thing. We want to see positive people and positive shops. So if you got a shop that's, a positive influence on the community it serves, man, you should definitely do a video on that. I would watch it. I would like to see that.
Yeah, well, I've actually, believe it or not, years ago, I did do some videos in a shop, but it wasn't like an interview type thing. I just was joking around. We joked around. And so it really, it really wasn't anything compared to what you were doing, but it was pretty fun though. But yeah, it's something to consider. But I think what you're doing and this whole thing is just amazing. You have certainly set yourself apart, but at the same time, that's the beauty of this community, is we're all different, and content creators. There's people that on your channel, and your channel has grown up so much. It's amazing to see. You've far surpassed me. People like Yankee Dragons and others have just, Silver Heist and others just really have taken off. And I think a lot of it has to do with your presentation, your personality, and people are drawn to that. And maybe some people don't like my voice. There's some people that I think a lot of it has to do with personality and presentation. And I believe that's what sets you apart and why your channel is such a success, and how you interact with the coin shop owners, but also the videos that you do solo and how you interact is just amazing. So congratulations to all for all of your success here on YouTube. You.
Sometimes you can't make everybody happy though, Sal. There'll be people that will catch one little word that you said somewhere, and you'll see that little comment down below that says unsubscribe.
I get that. I get that all the time.
One thing you said.
Yep. Oh, I get that all the time. Yep. Indeed. That's true. You can't please everybody. And I've learned that. I've learned to just accept, because I am, my personality is that I don't want to offend. And then I see some of these comments. I'm like, where in the world did they get that out of what I said in the video? And I just have to just brush it off, and it's only so much. I mean, I'm fine with a legitimate criticism. And I want to try to do better. I want to try to, I know you can't please everybody, but if I can please and entertain and inform as much as possible, because I do want to grow the channel. But it's not just about growing the channel. It's about the community, and it's about providing a service. And if I can do that in my own way, in my own niche, and not overstep or your bounds or anybody else's, I want to be unique, but yet at the same time, I do want to grow as well. And I think you have found yourself with how you present in your videos, and it's showing with your subscription base and your views. And my
mind is all over the place, Sal. I mean, I imagine it being like a squirrel. When a squirrel crosses the road, and you don't know if that squirrel is going to continue crossing, or it's going to come back and you're going to run it over. You don't know. This is my mind at all times. And so my videos, if you've ever seen it, my thoughts are all over the place, because that's the way I work. People like it or they don't like it. And I keep going with what I'm going with. I think a majority of people enjoy it, and that's going to have to keep me going.
I'm kind of the same way. I feel like I get off tangent I'd say I get off tangent, but my problem where I need to really work is my communication skills. I tend to put a lot of ums and ahs in there, and I don't edit them all out. And if I'm trying to search for a word and I can't find it, I can't think of it, I tend to stutter over myself, and that's where I want to try to really improve. But I got to be myself as well too. And sometimes that's just par for the course.
The thing, if you and I are having a conversation, which we are right now, there's going to be there's going to be pauses, there's going to be things go on in natural conversation that are just how it works, and I actually kind of enjoy that, because to me, it's like I'm connecting with the person a little bit. It's like we're just sitting there talking,
Right.
I'm the silent partner when I'm watching, but it's a communication. It's just how communication goes sometimes. But I understand your desire to be better. I'm always that same guy too. I I catch the ums and the pauses and stuff. And sometimes, I don't know if you ever go through this, but when I'm saying something, especially in a live show, there's a pause sometimes in what I'm saying. In my mind, that pause is much longer than it really is. And when I go back and rewatch the live or the video, it's that quick. But your mind wants to make you think that it's such a bad situation you're in. You're in a huge pause. You ever go through that?
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. I have definitely certainly seen that in my content as well too, and especially on a live stream or whatever. But the live stream and your live shows are definitely. I think some of your shows that we're talking about anything or nothing at all. I know it's even some of your titles. It's very just random. You're not setting anybody else with some great expectation. It's just stream of consciousness, which is great. Because there's no pressure. You can just do it. With my live streams, and this is one thing I think that sets me apart. And some people have tried to copy it, but they can't do it. But so long is I like to respond to comments on a live stream. And so it's one of my ways to kind of try to give back as the people going to take the time to comment. Hey, but I should do a live stream and respond to their comment in a video or audio. And so that's kind of what I have done. And so I'm constantly talking in these live streams. There's not much dead air because I'm reading their comment and responding, and also trying to engage with the chat side too. And so it's definitely, you got to be kind of on top of your game with that kind of stuff. It can be to try to get through a number of comments and then to engage with the audience. But it's fun. I enjoy it, and that helps keep me sharp. Not that I'm very sharp. I'm relatively dull, but nonetheless.
Very critical on ourselves sometimes, aren't we?
Yes, we are. That's for sure.
That's the perfectionist right there. You're
yeah.
Very, very critical on yourself. Always striving to be better.
Yes, indeed.
But,
yes, indeed.
Sal, I don't want. How long do you got approximately? You got any more time?
Yeah. I probably should be leaving in about 10 minutes or so. Just got another appointment, but this is fun. This is great. I appreciate it. This is.
In this time, if we think this is going to be something that the community would enjoy, we've got the introductions out of the way now, and next time we can talk about other things and maybe show things off. Who knows if the community enjoys this stuff.
Right.
But do you have any questions or anything like that?
I guess as far as introductions are concerned, I'm thinking, and I know you have probably talked about this on your channel before too, but since it's both of us, I'd be very curious to know what first got you interested in coins. What was the thing that really grabbed you to be interested in coins in general, and then precious metals in particular?
It must have been YouTube. It probably was YouTube, because I was a member on a coin forum, and I'm trying to ask myself, why would I go to that coin forum just naturally, unless I was first seeing something on YouTube? I've had coins and silver since I was a kid from my mother, who passed it from her hands to mine. She used to work at a gas station, used to pick out silver and coins and foreign coins, all kinds of stuff, and gave it to me. But I do remember some videos on YouTube of coin collecting, and it seemed like something that I could like. I remember, and I can't find this video still today, where a guy is in the parking lot. He says, "Hey, I'm going in this bank right behind me, and I'm going to go ask for $50, and I'm going to try to get silver." And I'm like, there's no way, because this video is old. There's no way that can still happen today when I'm watching this video. And I remember I went to a bank right next to my house, and I walk in. I said, "Hey, can I get some $50?" Like, "Yeah, we got whatever they had." I forget what it was now, 10, 20 of them. And sure enough, there's a 90% silver $50 in the roll. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy that I can find silver today. After that video came out, people are not aware that this can happen. Obviously, they're not finding all the silver yet.
Right.
And man, then I just started asking the banks for wheat cents cent boxes. And I don't know if the Great American Coin Hunt was going on at that very time, because I just happened to find these 3 boxes full of wheat cents. I wish I had gotten more, but I'd like to say it was YouTube. I think YouTube inspired me.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. That's very
same
cool.
Question to you. What about you?
Yeah, for me, it started when my grandfather handed me a cleaned 1906 Indian head cent as a kid. And that would just blew my mind here. And of course, at the time, I didn't realize that it was cleaned. That it's just shiny, but it was from 1906. So I had that coin somewhere. And that really started it for me. And he took me to a coin shop and I looked around and I was just amazed and just enthralled with it. And I just started kind of acquiring coins and looking in my pocket change and grabbing cheap coins, foreign coins with the cool designs on it. Said, hey, we don't have coins like this. This is some other country. You know, I was just so used to seeing quarters, dimes, nickels, and cents, and
The
just
same old design.
same old design. They never changed. You know, this is before the state quarter program. You know,
Right.
and so and then when we started to see, you know, the state quarter program, and when they started making those changes, that was monumental. Yes, it wasn't silver, but it was, here's a quarter that it's going to have a different back. You know, that was it just was amazing to me, you know, and then I remember the first coin to and this is not precious metals, but it's just a nickel. But in 2005, for the very first time since 1938, the nickel was going to change on the front and the back, on the obverse and the reverse. And that just fascinated me to no end. And just like today, with the quarter, this is the first time that the quarter will change designs since 1932. Now, the John Flanagan design on the quarter is that was resized to accompany the text for the America the Beautiful quarter program and the state quarters, but now they're using Laura Fraser's design for the obverse, which I think is fascinating. But
So you
anyways,
like the new quarter?
well, I like the new obverse of the quarter, and people have different opinions on the new obverse. The reverses and the ladies they chose, you know, I don't know that I'm on board with some of the. See, that's just it. Some of these programs that the United States Mint comes with, it's not the United States Mint, it's Congress. And Congress, there's an agenda. Whenever there's anything, and that's the thing with the commemorative coins too, there's always an agenda when it comes to Congress. And it's usually meeting their constituents and what have you, or political correctness. And to me, that's one of my big pet peeves, because I do collect modern coins, is I do not like political correctness in coin collecting. And I don't care if somebody is a particular race and they're featured on a coin. In fact, the St. Gaudens, people don't realize this, but the St. Gaudens design of Lady Liberty is a half black, half white woman. Beautiful, beautiful woman. I don't care what race she is. It makes no difference to me. She represents liberty. And the idea of liberty is for everybody, for all races, for all creeds here in America. And but anyways, but that's an aside note here. But I do enjoy the different designs that come out. And actually, I think the Maya Angelou design is actually pretty cool looking.
It's definitely different. I'm like 50-50 on it. A woman designed the obverse. Am I right?
Yes, Laura Fraser, right.
But I'm wondering, we're celebrating American women. Why are we not putting the American woman on the front rather than the reverse? Things like that. I don't know. And then also I kind of get to the mindset of, like, with the old coinage. So pre-33 gold, standing Liberty quarter, walking Liberty half, Mercury dime. That stuff was not about a person. It was about a people. So you use Liberty, which is not a person. It's you're representing the country's belief, in liberty. So now we're celebrating individual people and individual presidents, like, Washington quarters and stuff. Not that the reverse of the Washington quarter is not a beautiful thing, and not that Washington didn't do great things for this country, but it's just a different thought process now. I think you're celebrating a person rather than a people.
Well, that's right. And I agree with you. In fact, whenever the Lincoln cent first came into being in 1909, it was meant to be a commemorative. Same thing with the 1932 Washington quarter. It was meant to just commemorate the birth of Lincoln in 1809.
For a brief stint.
For a brief stint. But then it turned into, okay, well, The Buffalo nickel ended, and they wanted a new design. So then the Jefferson. So, but Washington did not want to be on coins. It was not his. He liked the idea of liberty, and we know that Theodore Roosevelt was also very instrumental in the redesign of our coinage. And though it was a version of liberty, which is the coronet style, to the beautiful designs that we saw in the early 1900s or the 19 teens, and here we are. Now everything has got a figure on them, and the only idea of liberty now is a person, an actual real person that's represented on the dollar coin, which is Sacagawea. And she was, so that is supposed to be Lady Liberty, but she's a person, so it really doesn't count, and she lived, I think she only lived to be 15 or 16 years old. I don't know. Maybe she lived to be in her early 20s, but I think she died pretty young, as the guide for Lewis and Clark. But I'm with you. I believe we ought to have an allegorical representation of liberty back on our coins again. And I don't like the idea of having people. I like the idea of Libertad. Here's Libertad right here.
Oh, I love the Libertads.
Yes, indeed.
Sal, with all your education and stuff on coins and your love for it, how come you just don't own a coin shop?
Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Probably because I'd want to keep most of everything that would come in. In fact, that's one thing. My local coin shop, they say, yeah, there's some things that we have to really bite our tongue or bite the bullet, and we got to pass it on because we can't afford to. We got so yeah. And there's some, and they say for grading companies that those people, they don't want them to be collectors, the coin graders.
Right.
I've heard that before, but anyway.
Well, coin grading companies, I think they don't want them to be sellers.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that they can collect coins, I believe. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but they don't want them in the business of selling.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think.
That's probably right. That would make more sense, I think. Yeah.
I've never been a coin grader, though, so I could be completely wrong.
Neither have I. In fact, coin grading is something that I'll talk about sometime on a separate program, because I think there's some ideas that I have about it that because I think with modern technology, there's things that could be done. Because there's some part of coin grading that I'm not a big fan of, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but we can talk about that sometime, maybe in a future show.
That sounds really good. I don't want to take up too much more of your time at all. So without further ado, I'm going to say, Sal, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully we can do this again. Hopefully people enjoy this little talk. Again, this was more of an introduction. I'd like to see, people interested in this and ask questions so that we can answer it maybe on another show or two. If you got time, Sal, that'd be really cool.
That would be great.
I think your expertise and you're willing to research a lot of this stuff could really help people out a lot that are getting into the hobby or have already been in here for a while. Because sometimes, we all got busy lives and we don't have time sometimes to do all the research ourselves. And, driving on the way to work or whatever, we can just hear Sal's voice in our ear telling us what we should know. That's
well, and you have a lot of knowledge as well. And thank you so much. And this has been a pleasure. Much more than that. And, it is YouTube and the videos that are presented in this community provide a lot of education, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of different things. But you know what? I can get things wrong as well too, not just in terms of the news of the day, but also within the world of coin collecting and the like. And there's a lot I don't know as well. So I'm constantly learning too. But this has been great, a wonderful, and I appreciate this was Spegtacular's idea, and I think it's really cool. And I hope that the viewers enjoy it. And so, yeah, and I appreciate it so much, Mr. Spegtacular, the silver.
Call me Ishmael. Call me Ishmael.
Ishmael, that's right.
Well, Sal, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time, I hope. And anybody that happens to be watching this, all 3 or 4 of you, just go ahead and leave comments about your thoughts. If you have any questions, maybe if there's a future show, if this is successful, and Sal wouldn't mind if he seems like it's benefiting the community, leave us a question. Maybe next time we can answer something. And I hope there is a next time, Sal.
Yes, indeed. I hope so too. I think it will be. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Enjoy your meeting that you have, and have a great one, man. Keep on collecting coins because we can come back and talk about some stuff.
Will do. Yes, indeed. Will do. You as well. Take care.
All right, Sal. Thank you.